Sophie, thank you. Good evening and welcome to BBC London. Coming up, a secondary school achieved success at too high a cost, according to a safeguarding review which has found a particularly harmful culture, including shouting and humiliation at this East London academy.
If I could send them a bill for loss of earnings and my therapy that I've had and all the resources that I've had to pay for my son, maths tuition that I paid for 6 months, I would.
The Mossbourne Federation says it's committed to the best outcomes for pupils at its schools. Also ahead on the programme, as flu cases rise, 3 hospitals step up measures for staff, patients and visitors on their wards. Plus, we hear from a Londoner who was issued fines after a disabled bay was painted around his parked car. And
join me at the Light Trail in Hornchurch, which is raising funds to support mental health in Havering.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Laxmi Gopal. First tonight, an East London school praised for its academic success has today been found to have a particularly harmful disciplinary culture for vulnerable students. An independent safeguarding review into Mossbourne Victoria Park Academy was launched by Hackney Council last year after BBC London investigated claims by parents and pupils about a toxic culture within the Federation's schools. Today's report found excessive shouting, public humiliation and a lack of support for pupils with special needs. The Mossbourne Federation says it's committed to doing everything in its power to ensure the best outcomes for every child who attends its schools. Our top story comes from political editor Carl Mercer.
Ofsted says this is an outstanding school, providing what it calls an exceptional education for the pupils here. But a report today gives a different side to that story. Following concerns raised by pupils, parents and former staff, a local child safeguarding practice review has criticised the strict discipline regime at the school. It refers to a culture that prioritises compliance and control above all else. Success, it says, has been achieved at too high a cost for some pupils. And it says the school achieves remarkable academic success while causing harm to some of its most vulnerable pupils.
We need to be asking questions, to be quite frank, of a senior leadership team that oversaw this regime, that failed to identify the disproportionality, to interdict or prevent it, and actually the culture that sees students getting shouted at. You know, that's not about dignity and respect. That's not about setting an example. You cannot hide that type of behaviour behind academic excellence.
The report highlights key issues at Mossbourne's Victoria Park Academy. It says shouting by teachers has become routine, not exceptional, and says it humiliates and intimidates pupils. It criticises a policy known as desking, where pupils who'd misbehaved have to move their desks to corridors. They call it isolating, shaming and educationally unproductive. And on pupils with special educational needs, it says some are punished for behaviour stemming from their conditions.
They do seem like they're in a slightly different time zone, and their approach just being completely unavailable to speak to parents in the way that I experienced, not being able to ask for a meeting and get one, not being able to express your concerns, and then when you do, having them played down. It quite unbelievable actually.
Mossbourne has for a long time rested on the laurels of its undoubted academic success, but that has come at a cost. And what this review shows is that the cost is for the well-being of a significant minority of children. And sadly, those children are often the children who need that extra support as well, so they're especially vulnerable, and Mossbourne's failed them.
Sadly, it doesn't surprise me. No, I'm glad that it's been published. And I hope that the school are going to make some changes, but I don't hold out much hope that they will.
Review author Sir Alan Wood says the school and the wider Mossbourne group need to learn lessons. Today, the school issued its statement.
The Mossbourne Federation is committed to doing everything in its power to ensure the best outcomes for every child who attends its schools. We have already recognised the importance of engaging effectively with parents and are working to implement all the recommendations made by Anne White KC. We will review Sir Alan's findings and reflect further on them.
Carl Mercer, BBC London.
Well, our reporter Frankie McCamley joins us now. Frankie, you've been looking at this story for a while.
Yes, we've been looking into complaints about different Mossbourne academies for around 18 months now. And it started out with a very small group of parents in Hackney, but it quickly snowballed into former pupils, former teachers and professionals, describing this toxic culture in some of the academy schools. And at the time, Mossbourne said it was the target of a vexatious campaign, and it said that it insisted that it provided this safe environment for pupils. But following our report around a year ago, the local council said that it was carrying out a safeguarding review into Mossbourne Victoria Park Academy, which is highly unusual because these reviews usually focus on just one child and one incident. This was on a whole school. And today we got the results of that review in Carl's report, as you saw. The findings quite damning. Teachers shouting at pupils and this harmful disciplinary culture towards very vulnerable children.
So what happens next?
Well, what the review is calling for is the Mossbourne Federation to carry out a complete overhaul of its culture and its safeguarding, especially towards these vulnerable children. It wants senior leaders to really take responsibility for this and work alongside the Council and the Department for Education. The Department for Education has also said it is going to work alongside the Trust to make sure changes are implemented. As you were hearing there, Mossbourne has said it wants the best outcomes for every child and will consider these very latest findings. But I think there is a bigger issue here. So questions around who takes charge of these academies, who's in charge of them, and where would parents go if they do have concerns about academies? Currently, as it stands, this council was able to get involved in this situation. That's unprecedented. Usually, parents can only go to the academy itself or to a form on the DfE website. So some are questioning now, is this really fit for purpose?
And there's more to come tomorrow, isn't there?
Yes, there is. We do have another exclusive tomorrow, looking at a group of schools in Essex that have been taken over by the Mossbourne Trust. We found that around 150 parents have already withdrawn their children from those schools for various reasons.
Frankie, thank you. There's much more coming up on the programme tonight, including...
See this throttle? Yeah. You can't have that on your bike. It's illegal.
We're out with the Met as they try to take on the phone snatchers speeding around the city on illegal bikes. And find out why this Christmas light show is setting a part of East London a twinkle, all for a good cause. But first, it feels like there's a lot of sickness around at the moment, doesn't it? And one NHS trust is warning of flu outbreaks in its wards. Staff, patients and visitors are being asked to wear face masks on wards at 3 hospital sites after a spike in flu cases. The measure has been brought in at Wexham Park Hospital in Slough, Heatherwood Hospital in Ascot and Frimley Park Hospital near Camberley. It's after the number of patients admitted to Frimley Park with flu has doubled in the past 2 weeks. Here's Patrick O'Hagan.
This year's strain of the flu virus is proving particularly virulent and cases are rising steeply across the Frimley Trust's 3 hospitals. Its doctors say it's all too easy for us to underestimate the damage it can do.
Regardless of the flu strain, between 8,000 and 10,000 people a year in England die from the flu. So it is not a trivial disease. We've definitely seen a doubling of numbers, and the concern is that that will still increase as we run up into the busiest time of year, which is Christmas and the period just after that.
The surge in cases means they've now got to the stage where they're asking staff, patients and visitors alike to wear masks whenever they come onto a ward.
We're issuing masks to all patients and visitors, and you'll see staff wearing masks, so not to be alarmed, but it's really a protective mechanism for both our patients and our staff.
It's just to limit the infection spreading, so by using our hand gel and wearing masks, and encouraging as well flu vaccine, because there's been a decline in numbers of people having the flu jabs.
Vaccinations won't necessarily stop people getting the flu, but they should at least reduce the symptoms for the most vulnerable.
It just limits the number of people who end up like in ICU because of infections, chest infections and stuff. So you will still get the cold, but it won't be as worse as if you get the flu jab.
We do have a lot of people come through the door very, very sick with flu. This is a very anxious time for them, very stressful time for them.
The flu season has arrived earlier than normal in the UK, and doctors say this winter's variant, H3N2, is especially nasty. And it's not just a problem for Frimley. The number of people being admitted to hospitals across the country with the flu rose by just under 2/3 in the last week of November. And Frimley bosses say there's no sign of it peaking yet.
The flu season usually goes on till about March, so I would think that would be wearing masks at least for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll review it depending on how the season goes.
What is the one message you would like to get out to people?
Get vaccinated, keep well. If you're unwell, stay at home. And obviously, when you come into our organisation, don't be alarmed if you're asked to wear a mask, and don't be alarmed if you see people wearing masks.
Patrick O'Hagan, BBC London.
Now, imagine coming back from your holidays to find that while you were away, a disabled bay was painted around your parked car. That's what happened to a man from South London who received 4 parking tickets afterwards. Croydon Council have since apologised and cancelled the penalty notices. Barry Caffrey has more.
This car was parked legally outside the owner's house in New Addington. But while he was away on holiday, the council painted lines on the road around the car to make a disabled bay. The owner, who did not wish to be named, received parking charge notices while away and took to social media to share what had happened.
I parked my vehicle, I travelled on the 17th, and on that same day, I was receiving alerts from my camera. So I thought, what's up with the car? And that's when I saw that the bay had been painted around my car. So obviously on my holiday, I was feeling anxious now because I'm thinking, how's this happened? There are no restrictions. There were no yellow lines or anything like that. This is crazy. How am I getting a ticket parked legally?
The disabled bay was put in place in response to a request from a local resident. And while the owner of the car agrees that the disabled bay itself is important, he criticised Croydon Council's lack of notification to residents before its creation.
Why wouldn't Croydon Council let me know or let the residents know that they're going to paint a bay around the vehicle prior to doing that? So at least we have notice, we know roughly where they're going to do it. We would move our cars. I just feel a lot of people can resonate with just being unfairly ticketed, and especially outside your house where there are no parking bays or parking restrictions.
Croydon Council told us that what had happened was standard practice to avoid delays, saying otherwise they would have had to wait for the space to become free, which may have taken weeks. The council confirmed the parking tickets were cancelled a week before the video was uploaded to social media and has apologised for the confusion. Barry Caffrey, BBC London.
Let's take a quick look now at some other stories making the headlines today. A 15-year-old boy has died after being stabbed in Islington, North London this afternoon. Police, as well as the air ambulance, were called to Westbourne Road earlier today. The boy was treated at the scene but died later in hospital. 2 men have been remanded in custody after appearing in court charged with robbery and administering a noxious substance after more than 20 people were affected by CS gas spray at Heathrow Airport last Sunday. The US President Donald Trump has launched another verbal attack against Sadiq Khan, following on from the barbed comments he made during his state visit to the UK earlier this year. In an interview with Politico, he calls London's mayor horrible, vicious and disgusting. The mayor has responded, saying that the US president is obsessed with him. And the TV and radio presenter Claudia Winkleman was made a member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, during an investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle today. The Traitors host was recognised in the King's birthday honours for services to broadcasting. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you will know we have covered this issue before. phone snatchers on e-bikes and e-scooters. Well, thousands of the vehicles have been seized by the Met to tackle this crime. More than 80,000 mobile phone thefts were recorded in the capital last year, but some Londoners who've had their phones snatched say they've had mixed experiences. Nikki Ford has this report.
See this throttle? Yeah. You can't have that on your bike. It's illegal.
Friday night in Soho, and the Met Police are out seizing illegal e-bikes and e-scooters.
Okay. So I will be seizing this vehicle because it's illegal. You can't have it on the road.
This one's been adapted to make it go faster. And this one has 2 batteries fitted to it. Both bikes were confiscated. And this is where they might end up, crushed and under New Scotland Yard's Christmas tree. It's part 2 of their plan, a new Met for London, which sets out how they'll police the capital over the next 3 years. They asked Londoners for their concerns. They told them they're worried about crime linked to illegal e-bikes and e-scooters.
We're going after the kids and the thieves who are going around on these bikes. We're sorting out the handlers, and also some of your viewers might have seen our reporting, taking out a big organised crime gang who were exporting them overseas. All of that is bringing the level down. There's more to do, but Londoners are getting safer.
Mobile phone theft still a problem though for 2 people it happened to recently.
Just in front of the Moorgate station, I was watching my phone, something on the phone, and someone came and just grabbed the phone on a bike and just went away pretty fast. It all happened within, I think, few seconds.
And David had his phone snatched outside King's Cross station.
They do this deft movement where their hand goes under your wrist, and then they move their hand up, and then they put on the gas, and so your phone is literally snatched out of your hand as they accelerate.
Police came to help, but he couldn't get his phone back.
Why isn't more being done about this? Because what they said was 20 phones are stolen on each shift. That's just for them. So in that area of whatever, area of London they cover.
While we were out with the Met, they seized 16 bikes, but can they keep that level of resourcing up?
You've got lots of people out here tonight, haven't you? But the public want to see this every night, don't they?
Yes, they absolutely do, and I can understand why. So it won't be this every night, because there are other things that people are afraid of. Violence against women and girls, robbery, knife crime, antisocial behaviour. And this is about showing the public that we can turn our hand to different priorities all at the same time.
They say the first phase of the plan has seen an extra 1,000 criminals arrested per month, and neighbourhood crime is cut by 15%. The next phase will see more facial recognition technology to detect offenders and quicker bits of kit to catch them, like these new lightweight bikes. The race is on then to catch the offenders. Nikki Ford, BBC London.
And BBC London has been on the front line with the Met tackling mobile phone theft. You can watch our documentary Fighting the Phone Snatchers, which is available now on the BBC iPlayer. Next tonight, something of a David versus Goliath battle. You may have heard of the activewear brand Sweaty Betty. It was founded in London and now sells clothing around the world. But now a business owner in Bromley claims that Sweaty Betty has used her company's advertising slogan. Aisha Baksh can explain.
We've got lots of different styles, lots of different absorbencies, so they suit all different shapes and sizes.
Kelly Newton set up her own leak-proof underwear company after years of health problems.
I had really heavy, long, painful periods growing up. I was diagnosed with endometriosis when I was 39. I had to have a hysterectomy when I was 42, which led to early menopause, and my first symptom of the menopause, my first physical symptom of the menopause was bladder leaks.
She now runs the business from her home in South London and is involved in everything from the design to the marketing of the products. This is one of the company's adverts.
To keep you moving through menstruation, motherhood and menopause.
Kelly claims a multi-million-pound clothing brand specialising in women's fitness wear has recently used a similar slogan, and she's now in dispute with the company Sweaty Betty.
When I became aware of it, I didn't reach out to Sweaty Betty, purely because I know that these words can be used anywhere. And also it's a David and Goliath thing. We're this tiny little company. But what I did do, I did a LinkedIn post and I copied in Sweaty Betty and kind of made almost like fun of the situation, saying, you know, thanks very much, really flattered that you think our words are great, and it's great that we're aligned with the same values.
The company Sweaty Betty told the BBC the phrase is used by many brands in various forms, and that's why no individual or brand can claim exclusive rights or trademark it. It's never been their intention, they say, to take credit for the work or creativity of others, particularly from trailblazing women.
So legally, yeah, Sweaty Betty, you're right, there's not an infringement. I totally accept that. But morally, they are taking the words from a small business, a female-founded business.
Sweaty Betty also say they're undertaking a review of all their marketing campaigns, and Kelly hopes the company is transparent and accountable.
We always said, what's the dream, what's the end goal? And it was to be, we want to be the next Sweaty Betty. And actually now, I don't know if I feel that way anymore. I know that
Aisha Baksh, BBC London.
Now, we need a bit of light and sparkle at this time of year, don't we? And thankfully, it's beginning to look a lot like... well, you can probably guess. And no, do not adjust your TV set. That is our special effects, no expense spared. And if you're in the mood for Christmassy sights, twinkling lights and festive food, you'll enjoy what we have for you next. A Christmas attraction in Havering, and it's all for a good cause. My colleague Alice Bandercravi is there now. Just to warn you, there may be some flashing images coming up. Alice, I hope you're getting into the Christmas spirit.
How could you not? There's snowmen, there's elves, there's all kinds of things here. Christmas light trails, as you say, are the thing at this time of year, and there has been a roaring trade at the Havering Christmas Land. I spoke to some people who were enjoying it earlier.
This charity is probably the best charity I know, and I believe that it helps where maybe the mental health services can't help. It's there for when you need them, and they do such a lot of good in the community.
We've actually come with St Francis Hospice as part of their Christmas group, where they get children and families together. But what a great way to raise money. It's really lovely.
I like about it, it's all different animals and it's all different personalities.
Well, I'm now 95 and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've seen the smaller ones and, you know, I mean, this is enormous.
This is fantastic. I love butterflies, so seeing this has really made my evening. But the whole thing is great.
As we heard from Leslie there at the beginning, this light trail is in aid of the charity Mind, and it's been put on pretty much by this man, Kieran White, who's manager here at Mind in Havering. Tell us about this event and why you do it.
So Alice, we've been doing this event now for 6 years. It's a magical Christmas lights walk right here in Church. I work for the mental health charity Mind in Havering, Barking and Dagenham. So we've been putting this event on to raise as much money as we can for our charity, and obviously to raise awareness of mental health at Christmas time, which is a very difficult time for people.
It is. I mean, this is a very fun event, and obviously people are having an amazing time, but there are important services that you do here for people. Tell us about the need that there is locally here.
So there is a big need. I think mental health is such an important issue in society today, especially since COVID as well. So many people are experiencing problems with their mental health and well-being. I think the statistics, like 1 in 4 adults will suffer some form of mental health problem in their lifetime. So we're here right in the community. Obviously we support hundreds, if not thousands of people each year who have got problems or experiencing issues with their well-being, and events like this are a fantastic way of raising money to support the services that we do, and also to raise awareness as well of mental health.
And tell us about why this time of year, as we know, is particularly difficult for some people.
I think it can be quite difficult for people. It can be that people are lonely, perhaps they've got problems with their families. It can be quite a stressful time of year, can't it, as well, having to buy presents and spend lots of money on, you know, decorations and food and stuff. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of people that do suffer at this time of year, and we're obviously here to help them get through that.
Absolutely. Well, Kieran White, enjoy the rest of your Christmas celebrations here, and as Kieran says, lots of support from the Charity Mind for those people who are having a hard time. Lakshmi.
Alice, thank you. And yes, apologies for some of the sound issues there, but didn't that snow look amazing? We're going to have to up our game in the studio with our special effects. But in the meantime, here's your weather forecast from Kate Kinsella.
Good evening. We have had a rather unsettled day of weather. It's been rather blustery and rather damp, and the skies in the most part have looked like this: overcast, grey, producing spells of rain, just brief glimpses of brightness where the cloud has broken just slightly. Now, today's conditions are brought to you by Storm Brown, the steep area of low pressure. We didn't get the brunt of the storm today, but we did have this cold front moving through, bringing more cloud and some outbreaks of rain. See quite a few isobars as well, which have brought us the brisk wind. It's helped to push that cold front out of the way, the remnants of which will clear into this evening. It's largely dry with lengthy cleared spells, albeit for 1 or 2 isolated showers through the early hours of tomorrow morning. The minimum temperature dropping to 8 or 9 Celsius. So again, quite a blustery start to Wednesday, but much brighter than this morning. We should get some winter sunshine. Still the chance of an isolated shower through tomorrow morning, but that chance clears into the afternoon. It should go largely dry with plenty of winter hazy sunshine. The temperature tomorrow was still very mild for December, 13 or 14 Celsius. Now overnight Wednesday into Thursday. Now we've got a brief little ridge of high pressure which builds through tomorrow down to the southeast, and that stays with us. So it's a rather settled night, and that's going to hang on until Thursday as well, ahead of this cold front which will arrive through Thursday evening. So for Wednesday night, again, it's looking dry and clear. There is still a little bit of a breeze out there keeping the air moving, but it's a cooler night. The temperature dropping down into single figures. We're looking at around 4 or 5 Celsius. So as we head into Thursday, a chillier start to the day, but it's still bright. We will start to see the cloud increasing though as that cold front moves ever closer. But for Thursday itself, it does look dry. We've still got brighter conditions until that thicker cloud arrives later on. Temperatures on Thursday, 12 Celsius. Now that rain arrives overnight, turning rather unsettled for Friday with outbreaks of rain, but temperatures still relatively mild, both at night time and during the day.
Just before we go, on our website and social media pages, you can find out why an annual London festival with an attendance of tens of thousands has now been cancelled for next year. Just search online for BBC London. Meanwhile, I'll be back with your late news update at just after 10:30. But for now, have a good evening. Goodbye.